Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. Please do ping in the chat and then we'll get started. Okay. Yes, we can hear. So because you answered the first question, maybe I'll ask another one. I will share my screen and I hope you're able to see it as well. And do let me know when you see my screen. It should have a presentation on. Can everybody see it? Please do ping in the chat so that we know and we can get started. All right, perfect. So I see, you can see my screens. Thank you so much everyone for joining. I'm Nishant, and today we will talk a little bit about jobs to be done, taking that concept to design a product-centric tech ecosystem. So I hope everybody's in the right meeting. I'm very excited about this, and I do have a little bit of an agenda outline planned for the next 20 minutes we have together. And I want to start with quick round of introductions where I can introduce myself, share the goals of today's session, and this precious 20 minutes, how are we going to use it? Talk a little bit about jobs to be done framework, one of the uses of that framework, which I've been working on in the past few months and years. Maybe I can talk a little bit about that and then get into actually plotting out a tech ecosystem, which is more and more product centric. Right? So this is the agenda in a nutshell. And I will rely on you and Emma to provide any pauses you like or any questions you have. Please do ping them on the chat so that we can stop in the middle and take those questions as well. Okay. This is my experience. I worked for the three companies you see on the screen around similar time frame. Most of this is my products experience, essentially looking at technology and then productizing it so that we can improve the lives of people who use this technology. You see this picture here is more of a reminder for me, like that life is a journey. I have really enjoyed traveling in trains growing up in India, where we used to go for long, like few day long journeys, and carrying lot of memories from there. I think that metaphor is something which is really close to me as well. So all of the work I'm doing, I look at it as like a journey, and these have been 3 stops on my journey so far as I practice the craft of product management. So without further ado, let's talk about today's goal. Right, so in this 20-minute session we have, I'll walk you through the process of looking at jobs to be done and the tech ecosystem with regards to jobs to be done. Right, so my goal is that you walk away with key pointers, a solid framework, right, so that you can start thinking about designing a tech ecosystem that directly connects to the value it delivers. Right, so that is my goal. And whether I'm successful in that or not, I think that's something which I will request you to ping me on the chat as soon as we've gone through the presentation together. Okay, so tech ecosystem, right? When we talk about tech ecosystem, very often you see something like this, right? These are boxes which are like convoluted. They are connected to each other with all these wires, and these are like lines going in all direction. They are very important, these aspects, each of these say technology components you see there, but right, they are difficult to understand, and at times they are even more difficult to articulate, right? As a product person, when you're trying to and talk to your sponsors about why funding a specific component is very important, I think that articulation is generally difficult, right? And then I believe that this is one person's opinion, and you can maybe ping on the chat and let me know if that's your view as well. One of the reasons why it is difficult to understand and difficult to articulate is the fact that much of this tech ecosystem, the way we draw it, or that enterprise architecture diagram, so as to say, it is disconnected from the end user's value, right? And what we will do as a part of today's session is try to look at one of the various approaches that there might be to be able to make it more value driven. right? So that's where we'll spend our time on. I hope everybody is with me thus far and you are in the right session. So we'll talk about jobs to be done. I think everybody or many people would be aware of jobs to be done. It has become very popular in the past few years. It is essentially a framework which focuses on understanding motivations and goals of people as they use any given product, right? So it helps you understand consumer behavior and what is driving it, right? So the whole premise of jobs to be done is to look at customers hiring a particular product to get a job done, right? So I mean, essentially, in other words, right, they don't really care as much about the product itself, right? It's about what they want to be able to do quickly, right? And in the particular context in which they are operating in, and then be able to hire your product or service to be able to get that job done, right? And understanding jobs to be done for your customers helps you create better products, and it is known that it helps you market your product as well, right? Now, taking that concept, right, what I was thinking about is what does it do? What about the tech ecosystem, right? Isn't it a fundamental component of value, right? Isn't it also being hired by our like tech users directly or indirectly? And that is when, like few years ago, I went on this journey of looking at all of my products tech ecosystem from a jobs to be done perspective, right? So maybe if anybody has questions thus far, you can ping on the chat. Emma, I will rely on you to see if there is some a burning question as at the moment. Otherwise, we will start peeling the onion a little bit and get into what does it mean to apply jobs to be done for a tech ecosystem creation. Okay, fair. So what about the tech ecosystem, right? Like, so if you extend that philosophy of jobs to be done, like these are various components of technology, right, which are essentially being hired to accomplish specific tasks, right? And each task, each element, right, is essentially helping the user do a job which they want to do. For example, all of our CRM systems or our analytics tools are essentially just a means to an end, right? And that end might be, for example, a CRM system helps you manage customer relationships effectively, right? And data analytics tools, for example, are helping you get actionable insights, right? So that you can take the right decisions. That is what should be more important, and that's what we should try to bring to this whole aspect of tech ecosystem creation, right? Designing a value-driven tech ecosystem is essentially about connecting each of the component of that tech ecosystem to user needs and how they derive value from using that piece of technology. So maybe if we want to get on that journey, I thought we will do some first principles thinking, and let's get started at the very beginning, right, where we can talk about say how do you as a product leader start looking at a tech ecosystem. Before we can do that, right, it is understanding who are you serving, right? So this talks about personas, knowing what your personas are, who are the personas being served, right? And then so that you can, as a product leader or as a tech leader, essentially advocate for them, enhance value for these personas, right? So the various ways to plot our personas, which is not the main idea of this topic, but it assumes a little bit of an understanding of knowing which personas your product, your company, your tech ecosystem is essentially serving, right? So for me, I think these are the few ones I serve working in a JLL or a commercial real estate industry, right? These are the few personas I am really passionate about serving them, because at the end of the day, my products are increasing value for personas such as the ones listed here. Right? They are a little bit more, they're not in number, but I mean, just to illustrate the concept, these are few ones I'm really passionate about. And what it does is, right, like once you know what is the persona you're serving, when we talk about knowing them, right, it's about understanding the context they operate in, knowing how they think, right, what is their mental model, what is their motivation, right, are they under stress at given points in their user journey, right, what are their pain and delight points, and knowing all of this is what gives us the right to be advocating for the personas we are serving. And I'll again take a pause. This is the precursor of actually starting to define the job to be done, and that's why I thought time well spent. Emma, please let me know if there's any questions waiting for us thus far. Okay. So I assume that is not the case. If everybody is good with this, then we'll start moving on to writing a job statement, right? Like let's try to write a job statement. I think many of us would be working on products. So if you have a specific product in mind, the one which you work on, right? If you would want to list a persona which is key to your success of your product, maybe choose one. Right? I brought another example. I brought an example from my industry. Right? This is office space leasing manager, for example. This is a persona, and once we know what that persona is or what that name is, right, let's talk about what is the context in which they operate in, right? So this is just for an example, just to talk about the level of detail we are teeing up so that we can start talking about the tech ecosystem, right? So if you are following and you want it to be more of a hands-on activity, right, I would request you to create or think of a persona which your product and your tech ecosystem serves, and then write the context in which they operate in, right? So there's more art to this, but this is just to illustrate the concept and get us started. Right? There is definitely more to be done with regards to, like, it is not a 20-minute activity is what I'm coming at, but what we're trying to do today is get you started on that journey in these 20 minutes we have together. Okay. So once I have this office space leasing manager as the persona, we know that they operate in commercial districts. They deal with both landlords and tenants. They finalize lease agreements. This is what they essentially do, right? And what one of the job statements for them is that they help match businesses with office space requirements, right, and maximizing their rental income for the property owners, right? So this is what they try to do. And if you look at, to do this, what is the technology they hire? These might be 2 or 3 different type of technologies, components they hire to get that job done effectively, right? So I spent time on this just so as to, make sure that everybody is on page with regards to what we meant when we said that, hey, we're taking jobs to be done as a concept, and then slowly start looking at it down the stream, right, to write to your tech ecosystem as well. Okay. So with this, let's take this jobs to be done concept to the next level. Let's start talking about the persona, like what is the job to be done, right? This is what they want to done. This is the job they want to get done, right? What is the outcome they're looking at once that job is executed? What is it that they would want to have to help that? What is the capability they really need? And that capability, in many cases, right, is governed by technology. It might not only be technology, it might be process, it might be technology and process, or process, right? So all of that aspects to it. But for this sake of this conversation and simplification, we'll assume that capability is actually given by a technology, right? So what I'll do is that maybe give an example. I serve facility managers, being in the commercial real estate industry, right? And one of the jobs to be done for a facility manager is that they have this large 70-floor building which they are trying to manage. Occupancy is fluctuating, like post COVID, right? So they want to make sure that they are able to give a great experience to their visitors, right? One of the outcomes they're looking for being able to do so is making sure that inspection scores are X%, right? And this is like assuming that there is a business rationale for doing so. I mean, if you're not from the industry or not familiar, maybe I'll say that cleaning is very important, right? People want to make sure that cleaning has been performed as per requirements. And that's a headache, one of the headaches which facility manager carries, for example, right? So if this is the outcome they're looking for, the capability they want to be able to engage is service validation, so that whenever a service is performed, they're able to make sure that it is giving the direct outcome which they're looking for. And the technology in this case might be a integrated workforce management system, right? So work management system. So essentially, this is the concept which we will try to further elaborate. But before we do that, right, I think why would somebody spend the time to do so? And that's where I wanted to start with this why aspect of it. Because if we are able to do so, and if we are able to plot your tech ecosystem in a way which is grounded in needs, right, grounded in particular outcomes and particular jobs for your personas which you serve, you will be able to do these 3 things which are on the right hand side of the slide, right? You'll be able to align tech with actual goals, right? You'll be able to create a clear linking between capabilities and value which your tech brings in, and you'll also be able to improve alignment across various people who work on your different technology components, so that you are finally working towards that journey of adding value to your end persona, right? The persona you are trying to serve. Right. So with this, I'll maybe give an example here. What you see here is various personas, right? So this is how it would look like, or should start looking like, right? Where we have these various personas, these 6 personas being served by a tech ecosystem, right? And we'll start writing what the various job statements they have, what is the outcome they're looking for. Maybe 2 or 3 jobs are looking for the same outcome. What is the capability they support, and what is the tech stack ultimately which is coming to be able to do this, right? So this versus what we were seeing here, I think I have found that it is more readable, it is more actionable, it is easier for me as a leader to be able to, when I'm trying to see if I can fund this T7 or not, right? Or what are the impacts of maybe prioritizing this investment or not. I'm able to say that, hey, if we do not do this, or if we do this in a small scale, so this is the outcome which we are going to jeopardize, right? Or if we are looking at specific outcomes, other way around, I could ask for more funding, more alignment, more activity, and more work happening on specific technology components, right? And one thing which that does for me is that once I have laid it out this way, I've tried this in multiple organizations, we are triggering out the right conversations between enterprise architects, program managers, and others with regards to value, right? So that is pretty much all I had. I'll take questions now if time permits. And I think we have a few minutes remaining, right? And if anybody is interested in reaching out to me for a more detailed conversation, or just talking, please do. This is my email ID where you can reach me at. So I will stop sharing my screen, and I'll go to the question section. Let me know, Emma, what has come up in the chat for us. So I think what is a persona? Is it like writing a functional business requirement? I think that's a question I see. So yes, persona is who you are serving, right? So they are key representation of users who have commonality with regards to motivation, context, and the slide we share. So I assume this has been sent or pinged before we had that slide open and shared on the screen. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me? Or okay, so we have a so I see questions on. Okay, somebody has answered things around persona. So yes, I do. Okay. So I'll end the session, and thank you so much, everyone. I will be available offline to answer any questions you might have. Thanks a ton. Thank you.